I finally agreed to move out. Like, I'm so devastated. Even though in my mind, like, I know he's bad, but I'm still trying to convince him of how good I am and that there's a good person in him. What a dumbass. Anyhow, I decided to do like intensive therapy because I am literally, this is a very sensitive issue, but I was very suicidal. Like, I literally could not get out of bed. I could not shower. I could not eat. I just was so crazy, not understanding, like, how could this person do so much wrong to me and tell me in the same breath that he loved me and still not want to give up on him. He is like super supportive. I keep in touch with him while I'm doing intensive therapy because of how fucked up he had me. And I'm like leaving to see him. We're still being intimate. Like, God blessed. Like, how a person can like just make your mind into mush so bad that you make the worst decisions possible is like, it's real. They do this. What's really screwed up is that when I went, he had the audacity to tell me that the biggest fear he had was that I would learn something in there that would cause me not to love him anymore. I'm bawling that he would even think this, and I'm like, no, I promise I'm gonna love you forever. In June, I'm done with therapy, right? And again, still seeing him. We're together all the time. Mornings, we're having breakfast all the time. We're having lunch. We're having dinners. We're having sex. Like, we're constantly together, but because of that, I'm seeing still the same pattern. Like, he hasn't changed. While he's still telling me that he's happy with like the progress that we're doing, we're moving forward. We're moving to, we're supposed to go. Like, he's excited. I'm like now this new renewed person, and I'm like, but you're still the same asshole. So I don't know that I want to do this. By July, because of some things that happened in between there, like, I knew he was seeing someone. I just could not prove it. And I finally got to the point where I just didn't want to prove it anymore. I was done. I wanted to get away from this person. I was so sick of being close to him. He was right. I did learn something in there. I learned that I'm valuable and that he really is a piece of shit, like all these women had said to me for years. So I finally get the courage to say the words. We had gone back to his place. I had found things in the RV that belonged to a woman. And I was like, someone's been here. And he's like, no, this is your stuff. And I invited some friends over and they came over with their wives. And that's why this stuff is here. And the shower stuff is yours. I was like, that's not my stuff. Like, I know what I buy. I know what I use. And he's like, no, you left it. And I left it there for you for when you come. What? No, absolutely not. Like, there was this like chongo-like thing, leather thing, and that he was giving it to a friend to like replicate it because to sell it or something. And I'm like, oh God, like, why am I doing this? So on July 19th, we go back after breakfast to his place and I'm done. I say to him, after he says to me, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want you. I don't love you. I don't want to be with you anymore. I am so tired of the lies and I can't do it anymore. I don't have the energy. I don't have the want anymore. I'm done. And he's like all sad and stuff. And then he's like, well, I've kind of been wanting to tell you the same thing. My ass, you've been wanting to tell me the same thing because you require too much attention. Bullshit. I leave with no regrets. The only regret I had was leaving the dogs, our little monkeys. Like, I love them to death. So anyhow, I leave. No regrets. I'm done. Not looking back ever again. On August the 8th, we're not done. Another woman writes to me, no, I'm no longer with him. No, please do not look for me. If you watch this video and you know who I am and you know who he is, do not look for me. I'm no longer with him. I have nothing to do with him. And I am so sorry that you're with him and he's cheating on you. But this poor woman wrote to me and told me, like, I'm so-and-so, I'm his fiance. what? He reached out to her last year in June. They'd been dating since June. Remember, there's 2 in November. And then she went to go visit his parents in December. The first one in November, she went to go meet his parents too. Apparently, he'll just introduce anyone to his parents. But I was supposed to go in December, remember? And I didn't. So he took her instead. The day before she got there, I had sent a collage with our pictures on it. He sent me a picture of his mother holding them. She was so happy. I sent her, I sent Christmas gifts. The very next day she gets there and he introduces her to his parents. That is some freaking nerve. Like, we didn't know that already. I pray to God that she did not marry him, because they were supposed to be married in March or April. I was still living there in March and April. She dodged a bullet, huge one, if she did not marry him. If she did, please pray for her, because she's going to need a lot of prayer. I did this for 10 mother effing years. He does not change. People that require this much attention, this much supply, they don't change. It took me this long to realize that I wasn't the problem. My biggest problem was believing that he would change every time he promised me he would. Every time. But as much as he promised, he would make me feel this small. Promise, smaller. Promise, smaller. That's what they do. That's how they keep you around. And everything was, after everything I've done for you. You know what? I've done way more for you. Please, please. So, all this animosity between women of like all the ones he was cheating with, I realize now that he didn't cheat on me. He cheated on all of us. Every single one of us. And he's been doing it since way before me, because I found a whole bunch of stuff from like the past. And so I already know like things that happened back then. And all this, like, there's nothing wrong with me. The only thing that was wrong with me was that I tried to believe in this person who showed me time after time after time after time that he is the most unethical, most immoral, unscrupulous person I have ever met in my life. And I gave him 10 years of it. I'm telling you now, the moment you start believing that the narcissist is going to change for you, you've lost. You have lost. Get out. I'm begging you, get out. I promise you, I know how hard it is. 10 years. I would never do this again. I came out of this a much stronger person, but I would never wish this on anyone, ever, because I still have nightmares. I have CPTSD. I have insomnia. I have anxiety. Depression, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the time from being on this freaking roller coaster of freaking emotions that these people are always on. Reach out to family, reach out to friends, be honest with what you're going through. I kept this to myself for 10 years. Tell your family, tell your friends, please get out. You don't deserve this. You are valuable. It's them. There is no excuse for why they behave the way they behave. I don't care if they had a bad childhood. I had a bad childhood, and I don't do that to people. My biggest problem is that I believe when people tell me that they're going to be better and that I'm not valuable and I got to fix shit about myself. Well, you know what? Never again. Never again. Never again. Please get out. I'm begging you. And if she stayed with him, please pray for her. Oh my God. And any other woman, I wish I would say his name to save other women from him. He's a bad person. One last thing. While it's good to have proof, pictures, text messages, I have 10 years worth. The only proof you really need against a narcissist is, they're narcissists. That's all you need to know.